Welcome to the friendly confines of Wrigley Field, where in under 24 hours, the Blues and Blackhawks will add another chapter to their historic rivalry. On the ice, one of our town's all-time favorites will actually be on the opposing side tomorrow. I caught up with three-time Stanley Cup winner, Oakville native, and Blackhawks forward Pat Maroon earlier today. Is there any good pond hockey spots in Oakville? Do you have any memories growing up playing outside?
It doesn't get cold enough. We used to go down the street, but I mean, it would probably freeze over for maybe a day. We would probably have maybe a day on it, but even you'd still kind of be nervous a little bit. I told my buddies and friends, if you ever want to come to a game, you can't root for the St. Louis Blues, or I won't leave you a ticket. So, so whoever I left the ticket for, you can't wear anything St. Louis. That's my rule.
The Blues are set to hit the ice here at Wrigley Field in just a few minutes. We'll hear from them coming up tonight at 10. Reporting from Chicago, I'm Corey Miller, 5 on Your Side Sports. The Blues and me are on the ice here at Wrigley Field ahead of the Winter Classic in Chicago, coming up in sports. Wrigley Field is home to plenty of St. Louis versus Chicago sports memories. Some brand new ones will be made on the ice here tomorrow at the Winter Classic. And the Blues and Blackhawks are ready for the latest chapter in their historic rivalry.
I mean, I got my first taste of it when, I got drafted to St. Louis and Chicago, and you get booed walking up to the stage.
And the best story I remember is I might have been sixth game in my career, and my line mates were Baz McCrae and Kelly Chase, and they wouldn't sit still on the bench. And I thought I was a six-game vet now, and I'm like, why are you guys so nervous? And they said, because when we step out, we got to fight. You don't. You got to pick up our gloves. And that, to me, that hit home right there about how serious the Blues-Blackhawks rivalry was.
I told my buddies and friends, if you ever want to come to a game, you can't root for the St. Louis Blues, or I won't leave you a ticket. So, so whoever I left the ticket for, you can't wear anything St. Louis. That's my rule.
It's cool. You're just outside, and just the fresh air and the brisk air, and it's been a lot of fun since we got here this morning, checking the place out. It's just, you can see the guys are a little looser, a little goofier, and we've been having fun.
In a sense, getting to know people around the players, whether it's wives, girlfriends, moms, dads, whoever they bring, right? You get to know those people. You just kind of see them in the hotel and being on the road and stuff like that. I think it brings us closer as far as a family dynamic or organizational dynamic for sure.
It's the first time you're ever going to experience some of these things that you don't. The music plays, it's louder, you feel like you're part of a rock concert. While the game's going, a goal is scored, you feel like you're in a Super Bowl. So this is just a terrific event.
Thankfully, temperatures won't be in the negatives like the last time the Blues played in a Winter Classic up in Minnesota. However, there could be some rain in that Chicago New Year's Eve forecast that the teams will have to dodge. Reporting from Chicago, I'm Corey Miller, 5 on Your Side Sports.
5 on Your Side's Corey Miller is there with a preview.
Yeah, Mercedes, it has been a wet start to the day here in Chicago. I've seen a number of Blues fans come and take some soggy selfies with Harry Carey's statue outside Wrigley Field. We hope it clears up by 4 o'clock puck drop because we got some hockey to play. And there are a number of interesting tidbits about this Winter Classic. Let's start first of all. This is the third time the Blues have played in one of these. The last two were at home against the Blackhawks and then up in Minnesota against the Wild. The only player on the Blues roster who's played in all of them is Colton Parayko. Another defenseman, Cam Fowler, was just traded to the Blues, but he has a big day today. It is his 1,000th career game in the NHL. He's the only player to ever hit that milestone in a Winter Classic. On the Blackhawks side, you'll remember number 77 for them, Pat Maroon, the Oakville native, three-time Stanley Cup champ. Yeah, he's now a Blackhawk. He's going to have about 11 family members and friends in the stands today. He said the only reason they're getting a ticket is because they agreed not to root for the Blues and to root for the Blackhawks. This game is going to take all these players back to their days as kids playing pond hockey. Here's how Coach Jim Montgomery anticipated the event yesterday.
I think the number one thing is emotion. We have to bring our own emotion. The crowd is distant, and they're not on top of you like you are in your arenas, your normal NHL rinks. It's the first time you're ever going to experience some of these things that you don't. The music plays, it's louder, you feel like you're part of a rock concert. While the game's going, a goal is scored, you feel like you're in a Super Bowl. So this is just a terrific event.
Now, I mentioned this is the third time the Blues have played in a Winter Classic, and Mother Nature has played an impact in all of them. In 2017, it was the fog at Busch Stadium. A couple years ago, it was negative temperatures in Minnesota. And today, so far, it's the rain, which could turn to snow later on. That would be a pretty cool scene on New Year's Eve here at Wrigley Field. For now, reporting from Chicago, I'm Corey Miller, 5 on Your Side Sports.
Corey Miller has the post-game report from Chicago.
Wrigley Field is often called the friendly confines. This New Year's Eve, it was only friendly to one team. The Blues held nothing back in their Winter Classic domination of the rival Blackhawks. From that very first home of the Blues, St. Louis felt right at home at Wrigley Field in the Winter Classic.
Let's go Blues, let's go Hawks, back and forth. That was unbelievable. I felt like a little kid just being a part of a special event.
2 quick power play goals set the tone on the ice, and it was all Blues from there on their way to a 6-2 victory. Cam Fowler had a 1,000th game to remember. The brand new Blue had 2 goals, adding to his whirlwind season.
It's pretty surreal, obviously. Going through a lot of emotions the last few weeks, getting adjusted to a new team. Could have asked for anything more for this experience, getting to share it with my family.
It wasn't just goals, though. There was a signature Binnington save.
It's in a hole. Stopped by Binnington.
A bout between the captains.
One of those things you look back on your career and you're fighting at Wrigley against a tough customer. Really no rhyme or reason for it. Just kind of asked him, and I'll have that memory forever. He definitely hit me with a few.
And most of all, a night for St. Louis to cap 2024 with a special performance in a special place.
The towel man doing his thing with the goals and stuff, like that stuff just gives you chills. I remember after the 6-1, it was just a pretty surreal feeling, hearing them chant that in Chicago at Wrigley Field.
We were saying how guys were getting emotional. Just you're thinking about everything that's led you to this moment. You have your family with you, and hearing our St. Louis Blues fans at the end of the game and counting the amount of goals we had, and it was a lot of fun.
As 2025 dawns, this Blues club enters a new year with momentum and a signature win under their new head coach.
I'm glad we're not playing for a couple of days because this is an emotional high. I know it's just 2 points like all the other 2 points, but this is not the same kind of game emotionally.
The Blues now run their Winter Classic record to a perfect 3-0, and they've scored 16 goals across those trio of games. Reporting from Wrigley Field, I'm Corey Miller, 5 on Your Side Sports.